this August the 7th edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content and contests, including our NFL Win Totals contest with a $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. Coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, the 6th of August. We are here with a 12-game slate of MLB action for Monday the 7th. Joining me from somewhere in New York is Mr. Dylan Rockford. Dylan, hello, mate. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Malcolm? Good to be with you. Another day, another soccer jersey. So I got Jerusalem on today. I was just catching up on your premiere podcast. Love it. I was doing the Nottingham one. So, yeah, we need to be better on the road this season. I'll tell you that. I think that's a big concern, to be honest. But, yeah, doing well and don't want to talk about the American women. I told you they were celebrating tying, and look what happened. They had a chance, and they blew it.
Dylan talking the talk on Nottingham Forest. I love it. I knew as soon as I was watching that game. I watched that game in the bath today, the USA game. But as soon as they missed that, my mind immediately went to you, Dylan. I thought, I bet Dylan's going fucking crazy here. Because it was just your kind of thing. Megan Rapinoe seems like a deeply unpleasant person. So that was funny when she missed her penalty. But they actually probably deserved to win the game today. Sweden weren't very good. But USA just had they were a bit more athletic and a bit quicker. They had no quality in front of goal at all. Absolutely no quality. So that's part of the risk you take, is when you don't do enough to win the game, you run the risk of going out on penalties. And then it was very mad exciting when she missed the goalie saved it, or part saved it, then had to claw it back off the line, and it went over the line by the smallest amount. Yeah, if that, it was absolutely unimaginable. I don't know what I'm going to do next week when Premier League starts. And then when does the NFL start? How many weeks till that? 4 weeks or something?
Yeah, like 4 weeks, something like that.
Fucking hell, man. There's not enough hours in the day. I mean, all day today, the Women's World Cup was on 14 hours ago now we're talking. Women's World Cup. And watched both of them games. And then there was loads of championship football. Then the Community Shield, Manchester City played Arsenal. So at one point today, I was watching that game on the TV. I had another game on the laptop. I had a game on the radio. I was following the little screen because I backed the Chicago White Sox rookie kid over 3.5 strikeouts. It was just absolutely relentless. But the Premier League show, but I don't know if you've been on Twitter, you might be seeing a couple of little videos that Barry put out. Barry absolutely smashed it yesterday. Oh my God, it was incredible.
Yeah, I saw on the Twitter. He was hitting a 60-1.
Yeah. You'd think it was a deep fake that we made after the event. It was so good. He only picked, there's 3 divisions, the Championship, League 1 and League 2, and he picked a dog in each of them, and they all hit it. Plus 450, plus 450, plus 300. It was absolute madness. And in fact, the game he tipped on the goals, the team total over 1.5, they scored 7. So if he got up the ladder, if he went up the ladder, he could have been a millionaire. That's a long way of saying listen to the Premier League Gambling Podcast. Because we've got some winners, and we've got Prem this weekend coming up. So
real quick, Malcolm, I didn't know this, but I've been diving a little into the Women's World Cup in the round of 16. Yep. All 3 African countries are playing European countries that colonized them. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah.
That is good. Yeah. Netherlands, South Africa today. So, yeah, that's one. Mm-hmm. Then England play Nigeria. And must be France, Morocco then, is it?
Yep. And, big game for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys win.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. So we should win. They've been playing better lately. Tell you what, you don't expect to get geopolitical chat when you tune into the MLB Gambling Podcast.
Hey, bits and bots.
Covering all kinds of bases. I haven't had a bad day today. I had a couple of winners in the championship in the football. And then, like I say, I backed the White Sox kid to get over 3.5 strikeouts. It was just too low. I can't even remember his name. Dalton or something. That hit. Houston team total, Munaf put me on to, was that hit by the third inning. And then I went to the Texas and Miami game and took the under on the strikeouts for Andrew Heaney, which cashed as well. So going along okay. And then I put a bet on this Giants Oakland game. And I think I've bet the wrong thing because I wanted the team total. The over in the first 3 innings, which would have cashed. But it's saying suspended and I've lost. I think I've backed Oakland to win the first 3 innings in a bit of a panic. So I made a rookie error. Yeah. So I was on a hot streak. Rookie error has stopped my hot streak. So I made the right pick and I bet the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's the worst.
The British bookmakers aren't very good at laying out their baseball bets. They I don't think they understand it particularly. No. So it's quite clumsy. And obviously I've clicked on the wrong button.
Yeah, I've done that a bunch of times. You click on the wrong thing. It's like, I cashed on the under and then, I actually hit the over. But
yeah, every now and again you hit one by accident, which is great. Yeah, decent looking card tomorrow. The baseball has been fun this weekend. A few people in the chat who's here. Ryan was first in. Ryan wins. Well done. TBDBJ and Josh Lower, 34.
He's trying to fire Moon off.
He wants rid of Moon off. Ooh, what's a bit strong. I mean, I'm all for it, Josh. You talk a lot of sense. Moon off's been firing into me this weekend with all sorts of football related questions. He must be trying to get his betting card ready for the Premier League season. So after tonight, a lot of teams, Dylan, have 50 games to go in the season. We're counting down a little bit. The funniest thing of the weekend was the fight. What did you make of the Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson scrap, Dylan? Who were you on?
Oh, my God. It was amazing. I love how Tim Anderson squared up. First of all, the umpire backed away. He was like, I don't want any parts of this. Tim Anderson squares up, connects, and then all Jose Ramirez does is just swing for him and connects with an overhand right, and down goes Tim Anderson. So it's bad. He's losing on the field and at the plate right now. It's just been a bad year for Tim Anderson. I'll tell you that much. And they were trying to walk him to the dugout, and I think that was even a worse scene.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was bad. He wasn't in the lineup today, thankfully, but they didn't need him. But, yeah, bad look for Tim Anderson. Went from having a bad year to even a worse year. It
was funny because, I think Jose Ramirez is kind of quite unflappable, really. You never see him stray far from the mean with his temperament, whatever. But the Cleveland commentator, the call is absolutely outstanding. It's proper sort of big heavyweight boxing, round 11 of a big fight in Vegas. But he's shouting, Anderson is down. It's absolutely great. Like he just flipped. I mean, professionally, he flipped from a baseball commentator into a boxing commentator in a heartbeat. So yeah, enjoyed that a lot. Will they get suspensions for that? Will Ramirez get suspension? I'm guessing.
He played today. So
okay.
I don't think so. It's unordinary how, people get into fights nowadays and you don't get suspended, because back in the day, they're at least getting 3-4 games, Yeah,
I don't know if maybe it would have to go to New York, and he might get a suspension handed down in the next day or two.
Real quick.
Yes, mate. Go on.
I just wanted to say, you talk about fighting. The UFC just came to London at the O2. How far is the O2 from you?
London, it's all right. It's the other end of the country completely, but it's still a 5-hour drive, maybe 4.5, 5-hour drive.
That's not too bad. You got to go to one of those events over there.
Mate, I can't do the fighting at all.
Really?
I couldn't be less interested in any kind of pugilistic battling.
Really?
The old face punching does nothing for me, whether it's boxing, UFC, anything. No, I just can't do it. I'm not into it.
At least you could get drunk.
Well, yeah, you can do that anyway, though, can't you?
Yeah, I guess. It makes the experience a little better. Come on.
Yeah, probably. I've been and watched a couple of my friends fight in sort of local, where there's been a card on locally, and fucking hell, the thing to do, just don't make eye contact with anybody. Because everybody in the crowd there just wants to kill you. Doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. It's just full of 500 blokes who want to fight. Doesn't matter who the only reason they're going to watch the boxing is to get involved in a scrap. It's a bit of a gangsters thing. All the dolly birds as well, all the girlfriends there and stuff. The atmosphere is thick with violence. I just remember being slightly terrified and not making eye contact. So we got 12 games, and we've got them all on the board, which is rare for a Sunday night. We've had issues in the past pricing up a Sunday night card, but not this one. So we got loads of winners. Dylan, I'll tell you about the Patreon first. The perfect spot for the die-hard DJ. Exclusive contests, including the NFL Win Totals contest, which has got a $1,000 first place prize. The monthly SGP Stories podcast, which is an ad-free, uncensored show highlighting the best stories from decades of being DJs. And the Discord channel, which is just for patrons. All our content is on there for free, as per usual. Join at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Right. Got one page open with today's scores. I've got one page open with tomorrow's games. It's been an interesting day so far. You've had what's gone on? The Braves lost. The Rockies won on the road. The Cardinals lost at home. Texas are going well. They beat the Marlins 6-0. The Rays got a much needed win. Tyler Glasnow was scratched from that start tonight. The Reds blew it. The Reds got beat again, and the Yankees were getting battered and then fought all the way back and then lost again. 9-7 to Houston. Blue Jays put up 13 runs at Boston as well. So yeah, it's been an interesting thing. Oakland have just got in front. What did we just say? Dylan, about batting the... Yes. I might be back in. I might have backed the wrong thing by accident, but it might cash. I told you I was on a heater.
The gambling gods, they're helping you out. And the Mets, 0-6 since the deadline.
Yeah, what's going on there, mate? They're not going to win again, are they?
No, they're never going to win.
They're never going to win. Dylan, I've handicapped them. I might have picked them tonight, Dylan. You never know. Uh-oh. Right then, 4:10 tomorrow. Early start. Why would we have an early start in San Diego tomorrow?
I have no idea. Maybe they play on Sunday Night Baseball too, those teams, which is very interesting.
Because I never get to watch much West Coast baseball. So the Dodgers and the Padres is a 4:10 Eastern first pitch, which is Tony Gonsolin against Seth Lugo. Books can't split them. -105, the Dodgers, -106, the Padres. Total of 9, Dylan.
Yeah, usually, like I said, we like to fade teams that play on Sunday Night Baseball, but thankfully no one has to travel. The series will continue here in San Diego, but my numbers did make San Diego the favorite. -125. I'll take the -116 that I'm seeing right now. You know, they were able to finally get that piggyback off them. They were able to fight back and get a win on Saturday, against the Dodgers. So, you know, hopefully they could carry this momentum through Sunday and through Monday, because I do think they have the pitching advantage with Seth Lugo over Tony Gonsolin. You know, Lugo, in my opinion, he's only had one bad start since May, and that was on the road against the Phillies. At home, he's been really solid, and the Padres bats have seemed to kind of woken up over the week. So I feel like if he's able to get some run support here, I think they could win here. I'm not the biggest Gonsolin fan either. He gives up a lot of hard contact. So I'm going to cross my fingers here. I'll back the short price with the Padres here at home.
Well, not much help here for the listeners, because I've gone the other way. Really, I couldn't split the pitches very much. Lugo has been a lot better. You get some really good length out of Lugo as well. I mean, outs prop might be interesting. And 2 earned runs generally is what he gives up. Gonsolin is generally reliable. We'll throw in the odd shot there. Kind of the reason I'm picking the Dodgers is because I picked them last night and went to bed with my little headphone in my ear, and they were 3-0 up. In fact, I backed them on the run line. So they were effectively 4.5 runs in front when I fell asleep. And then I woke up and the Padres scored 7 runs in the 7th. But the Dodgers, I just think, were a little bit better team. They were generally in control of that game last night. So this is going to be close. I think the number's high. 9 seems a little bit high. But I'm going to take the Dodgers again. I just think they're a more reliable team. I do struggle to take the Padres in a spot where they haven't got a clear advantage. I tend to veer away from the Padres because they could offer you absolutely anything. E4 Notty Osama is in the chat, hello, mate. We've seen, that is a name I recognise. I mean, it's a hard name to forget. Thanks for joining us. 6:40 Eastern first pitch, the Minnesota Twins at the Detroit Tigers. Pablo Lopez for Minnesota and left-handed pitcher Joey Wentz goes for the Tigers, -166 on Minnesota and +140 for Detroit. Total is set at 8.5. Dylan.
Yeah, I love the Twins here. I'll take them on the run line, -1.5 at +110. Basically, I'm just going to fade Joey Wentz in this spot. I know he finally had a good outing in his last start, but I don't trust him. I think he'll go back to his old form. His hard hit rate is hovering around 45 to 50%, very high. I could see a blow up coming very soon from him. The Twins also just beat Wentz in back-to-back starts early in the month of June, where they lost both of those games by 2 or more runs. So Twins, they are putting some wins together here over the weekend. I think they could get it going against the Tigers on the road. Tigers aren't a good home team anyway, so going to continue to fade the Tigers and Joey Wentz. I'll take the plus money with the Twins.
Yeah, exactly the same. Well, sorry, not exactly the same. Same handicap, slightly different bet. Minnesota team total was going to be my pick. The Lopez has been really good in his last 3. Eventually, might be putting it together. Minnesota are playing quite good baseball as well. They won 3 in a row. They've stretched the lead out to 3.5 games now on the grounds Cleveland decided to give up for some odd reason. And as much as Wentz is okay, and I do think he's capable of throwing the odd good start in, he's generally good for 3 or 4 earned runs, and that'll probably be the case here. So yeah, Minnesota team total for me. I'm guessing that might be a 4.5, maybe, Dylan. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like 4. I don't think it'll be 4.5. But if you could get a 4, I would jump on the over on that.
Yeah, let's do that. 6:40 Eastern first pitch. The Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies. I have not handicapped the Washington game where Trevor Williams hasn't been slated as the pitcher. He won't pitch tomorrow. They always just put him in. I don't even think he exists. Trevor Williams goes for the Nationals. And Ranger Suarez, left-handed pitcher for the Phillies. Trevor Williams, apparently, got line, sorry, -225 Philly, +185 Washington, total of 9. Trevor Williams is 5-6 on the year with a 4.72 ERA. Struggling lately. His last 2 starts have been poor. He has a 5.02 road ERA. And Washington have won 3 in a row, though, and have been better on the road. But they've really struggled against teams that are greater than 500. They can occasionally beat up the teams around them. They're 28-41 against teams who were above, with an above average record. Suarez had a better start last time at Miami. I mean, that's the Miami team, though, that are in an absolute funk. But he still gave up 10 hits and 2 walks. Before that, he'd given up 4, 3, and 3 earned runs. So with those stats, plus the fact that Williams will give up a few, Washington are hitting okay. I think this is going to go over. Washington hit the lefties really well as well. I think they might be up to 280, or might have been Miami. I was looking at who had an over 300 average, but Miami's is decent. Both starting pitchers are vulnerable. I've seen Philly playing quite a few shootouts this weekend. I watched an 8-6 game on Sunday night. They finished 8-4 tonight. Very, very similar game. Phillies 8-4, 8-6, the last 2. They're great comps. This will go over 9, Dylan.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I got the over 9 as well. I made my total 9.4 here. You know, Suarez had a good last outing, but in July, he was not consistent at all. He gave up 3 or more runs in every start in the month of July. And like you mentioned, with the way the Nationals and Phillies have been scoring the baseball, I think we're going to see a high-scoring game here. The Phillies bats, they've been hot. 4 of their last 5 games have gone under this number. I'm also not a big Trevor Williams fan either, you know, plus we got wind blowing out into center field. I think we see a shootout here. I agree. Give me the over.
Giants have got 2 on, no out. Athletics, we need a double play. I know the baseball gods are not smiling on me anymore. Michael Lee has joined us. Team total over 4.5 for the Dodgers. Yeah, I'm all for that, Michael. I'm on the Dodgers tomorrow. So yeah, I'll get involved in that. 6:40 Eastern. First pitch is the Miami Marlins at the Cincinnati Reds. Miami officially TBD, but we think it's Braxton Garrett who will take the mound.
It's Yuri Perez. They called him back up.
Okay. The Cincinnati left-handed pitcher, Brandon Williamson. Just trying to see really what difference that's made to the lines. The lines are -125 for Miami. with Perez going. Williamson in Cincinnati, you're plus 105. And the total is it 10. Sort of handicapping this on the fly slightly. So,
you want me to go first?
No, I'm okay. We're good. Williamson has been fine. He's 3-2 with a 4.85 ERA. He had a bad start at the Cubs last time, but I'm happy to ignore that. It's a bit of a weird place to pitch. His last 2 home starts are what caught my eye for Williamson. 12 innings pitched and 3 earned runs. First thing to say about Miami is that they're really struggling. They've got the worst record in MLB since the All-Star break. 5-15, 5-16 that will be now after. I'm guessing that game with Texas is finished as we've been talking. Yuri Perez has been away since the 7th of June. It was going along fine. He had one horrible start where he got 1 out and gave up 6 earned runs. That pretty much accounts for all. It was the ERA. Because other than that, he pitched 24 innings and gave up 1 earned run. This completely and utterly changes. Right, the over can't still be sitting at 10, Dylan, can it? What have you got?
I had to hammer the under. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. 10 for my line. I made it at 8.7, but with Garrett, it was around a 10.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I had Cincinnati when they were taking on Garrett, just because I think he's okay in Miami and right from. If Perez is going, you've got to trust him. I mean, he came up and looked like he'd been here for years. First time around, you have to take the under between a bad offense in Miami and a great pitcher who can silence Cincinnati. So I'll take the under whatever it is. If you're seeing what I'm not seeing a line at the minute, but you have to take the under, Dylan.
Yeah, so the total is 10 minus 118 toward the over, minus 102 toward the under. I'll take the minus 102. Like I said, with Garrett, it was around a 10.3, so I understood the 10 there with Garrett. But with Yuri Perez, my numbers changed drastically. It came out to, like I said, an 8.7. So, I mean, as a side, it's kind of hard to back either side confidently right now. You know, both are struggling really bad, but I do think the Fish have the pitching advantage with Yuri Perez over Williamson. I know the winds are blowing out. Cincinnati is a hitter's ballpark, but I don't know. 10 just seems a little high for an offense that is struggling like the Fish. You know, I think Perez is going to perform like he did when he was in the majors last month. You know, he's already faced this Reds team, his first actual start, and he only gave up 2 runs. He did really well. They just couldn't get any run support for him that game. But, you know, and actually in all 5 of his starts on the road, Yuri Perez, they've all gone under this number. 10 is just ridiculously high. So if you're able to still get a 10 out there, I would hammer the under.
Yeah. Medina's walked in a run and a sack flies, but the Giants up 4-3. The baseball gods are back into me.
They'll humble you real quick.
Over 2.5. I tried to bet. It's on sitting on fucking 7. Unbelievable. 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The Atlanta Braves and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Spencer Strider gets to start for Atlanta, and it will be Oswaldo Bido for Pittsburgh. We have lines of minus 290. Wow, on the Braves. Plus 235 on Pittsburgh. Total of 9. Dylan Strider's breaking all kinds of strikeout records. How can you handicap a $3 favorite tomorrow?
Yeah, hard to take a side here. Even on the run line, minus 170, it's tough. Maybe an alternate line, but at a certain point, I think there's some value on Pittsburgh here, even though I don't think they could win. I took a 9. I see 8.5s popping up now, but I made my total 8.2. Even at an 8.5, it's a small lean toward the under. Like you mentioned, Strider, he's been lights out on the road this season. And the games he did give up a few runs, he's backed by one of the best lineups in the league. So I do think the Braves are the right side, but, you know, I think he will be able to limit the Pittsburgh bats. Like I said, they're trading everyone. They tried Carlos Santana. They're tanking on the season. And I don't think the Pirates could be able to touch Strider. Outside of that game where they scored 8 runs, the Pirates have been struggling to score runs this past week. So I think Strider is going to be able to limit them. Both teams have gone under this total in 3 of their last 5 games. Winds are blowing side to side, so it shouldn't really help us at all. But 9 seems a little high. I'll go under here.
Yeah, Strider's any game, any minus, any $3 favorite's difficult to handicap. But yeah, record-breaking performances. His last 2 starts have been great. Bido has gone short starts He actually had a couple of good starts early, and he sort of caught my eye going back a little while, but that's not the case anymore. A relatively short start at home have given up 3 or 4 runs. And if that pattern comes in tomorrow, and we've talked before this season on how Atlanta love an early run. They've scored 5, 6, 7 runs in the first inning. Over half a dozen times. It's been quite mad. So an Atlanta first 5 team total would be me. I think they could have 6 or 7 runs on the board by the time we get the halfway stage here. I think that's the safest way of handicapping what is a bit of a treacherous price at -290. Next up is it's up to the top of the page. It shows how about those Mets, Dylan? 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Chicago Cubs at the New York Mets. Left-handed pitcher Drew Smyly for the Cubbies, and Kodai Senga goes for the Mets. +110 on the Cubs, -130 on the Mets. Total is 8.5. Dylan, are they going to win?
Malcolm, you said you might take the Mets. Pray for me, because I actually am going to take the Mets here. Only in the first 5, though. I don't trust them to keep the lead that long. But as long as Senga is able to go a strong 5, I think this is a good bet. My numbers did make the Mets a -150 for the full game. Like we all know, Senga is someone you want to back at home at Citi Field. Kind of want to fade him or be cautious when he is on the road. I think we have a bounce back start from here in this one. Both pitchers do have familiarity with the other club, both low scoring affairs when Drew Smyly and Senga went up against each other. I would actually stay away from the total. It's supposed to rain all day and be very windy here tomorrow. So gonna leave it low. I could actually see it going under just because it's going to be miserable out tomorrow. So hopefully they're able to get the game in, but I'm going to back the better pitcher in my opinion. I think he could limit this red hot Cubs team. So Mets first 5 lightly.
Yeah, I am going to take the Mets here. I know they've lost 5 in a row. Well, sorry, it's 6 in a row now. They've been shut out tonight by Baltimore. But Senga at home really is the key to this. He's got a 240 home ERA. And the Mets are okay at home. They're still 3 games above 500. Cubs have been doing all right. Don't mind them. But Smyly isn't in great form. And I just think this is Mets are going to win many. But this is a spot where they can get one. I think -130 is a fair price. So we'll happily take that. Johnny Boy, cheers, mates, he says. Is that Johnny typing in his best British accent? Nice to see you, Johnny. Cheers for joining us. I'll tell you about Underdog Fantasy before we crack on. Underdog Fantasy, one of our favourite sponsors here on the MLB Gambling Podcast. NFL season is bearing down on us very quickly. Underdog Pick'em is a great way to get down on a ton of NFL player props and available in lots of markets too. There's plenty of opportunities to win in their daily MLB contests, and make sure to enter Best Ball Mania 4. First place gets $3 million. Wow. Head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Captain Insano's joined us. I'm just laughing. Johnny's said he's got used to my accent and claims it's comforting. I don't quite know what that means. That's a little bit unsettling, the use of the word comforting. Just imagine you curled up in a ball, sucking your thumb or something, Johnny.
You're listening to Malcolm's voice.
Oh dear. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. Come on, Oakland. Get one more run for a push.
Honestly, I feel Johnny Boy because I catch myself saying mate now. My friends are like, why are you saying that? I go, cheers, mate.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a list of fucking American things that I say this week, and I'll read them out next Sunday. Me and you normally do the Sundays, Dylan.
Yeah.
I'll read about next week because the amount of times I catch myself saying things. Appreciate you is the worst one that you American people have got me saying. No one in this country's ever said that, and now I'm saying it all the time to just a bloke in the shop or someone at work or someone getting my coffee or whatever. I appreciate you. And they look at me like I'm an absolute alien. So I'll make a list of American things that I say this week.
That's great.
It's not great. It's right. We'll move on. We're halfway through the slate. We have got the 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Kansas City Royals and the Boston Red Sox. Left-handed pitcher Cole Ragans goes for Kansas City, and for Boston it is my guy Brian Bello. Lines are plus 180 on KC, minus 218 on Boston, with a line of 10.5. So Cole Raggins, he came across from Texas, and I'm trying to think what trade it was now. I don't know if it was. Oh shit! Now I've forgotten his name. What was the big closer called?
Roldis Chapman.
Yeah, that's him. I might have been that trade. I don't know, but I don't mind because he was in the pen for Texas, just sort of going one in here and there, not doing an awful lot. But he's started two games now for KC. He's pitched 11 innings and only given up one earned run in those two starts. Brian Bello is undoubtedly in a bit of a slump at the moment. He's 8-6 on the year. He's a 3.79 ERA. His last four starts, so he's given up 4, 3, 6, and 3. This is a better spot for him. But KC is still hitting. Like I say, they went down. I watched the game against Philly last night. They went down 8-6. They put up 4 runs on 7 hits tonight. So they're still hanging around. And I say Bello's not in great form. Kansas City, sorry, man on Twitter who got cross. Kansas City had won 5 in a row before yesterday. And I think they can win again. I'm going for the big dog. Boston have lost 3. Give me the Kansas City Royals at plus 180, Dylan, please.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's worth taking a shot. I just think the number on the total is a little ridiculous. I got a 10.5. I still think you could find 10.5s. I took that under. I made my total 8.7. Ever since the Red Sox have regressed lately, they've been a dead under team. They've gone under this number in 11 straight starts, including today as well. You know, the wind isn't even blowing out. I don't understand why the number's at 10.5. You mentioned Reagan's, he's actually been decent recently, especially his last start against the Mets. Take that for what you want. Mets are actively tanking at this point, but I don't know if he'll be that good, but he'll definitely be good enough to keep this game under 10.5. And you already know you've turned me into a Bello fan, especially at home. I like to back him. I think he's good. So 10.5 seems ridiculously high. I'm going to go under here.
Auckland must have gone down 1, 2, 3 in that half of the third inning on like 3 pitches. Because I've just flicked the score and it's gone in a heartbeat. We're at the top of the 4th already. So it turns out the baseball gods did get me. And I've lost that one. So anyway, decent heater for the day. Johnny was asking about if it's too late for the Boston Red Sox. Because I talked them up at the All-Star break. I had a little bit of 50-1 on them. And then, I think it probably is a little bit too late. Unfortunately, because for a little while they were hanging around and went and made a little run. But that's petered out slightly. 7:10 Eastern first pitches, the Toronto Blue Jays at the Cleveland Guardians. Hyun Jin-ryu, left-handed pitcher for Toronto, and Gavin Williams is on the hill for Cleveland. Minus 112 on Toronto, minus 108 on Cleveland. Total is 8.5. I've changed my mind on this about 4 times. Hyun Jin-ryu is 0-1 on the year, 7.20 ERA. Started 1 game. Against Baltimore, pitched. He gave up, 9 hits, 1 walk, 1 homer, 4 earned runs in a game against Baltimore that they lost 13-3. It's hard to know quite what to expect from Ryu. He's obviously just going to slowly claw his way back into form and stretch out a little bit more. Gavin Williams, 1-3, 3.38 ERA. Again, a pitcher that I like a lot. Still throwing far too many pitches. I picked him up in quite a few fantasy teams. He was struggling to get the win because he never went long enough. He's actually made it into the 5th inning a couple of times lately. But he walks everyone. 4 walks in 3 of his last 4 games. So if there's a walk prop out there, pick that up. But he has given up no more than 2 earned runs in those 4 games as well. Toronto had a decent weekend. Right, I'll tell you, give you my process here. Initially, I've got Toronto to win. I then saw the odds and they were too close together. So I scribbled Toronto out and I wrote down Cleveland. And then I had a change of heart again and I scribbled out Cleveland. And I've gone over 8.5, which I think effectively I've chickened out, Dylan, is what I've done. So the bet is over. Like I say, Williams, I like him, but Toronto have been quite hot. And really, Ryu might just go 1 or 2 batters too far, and Cleveland could hit him a little bit, and that'll be at 8.5, please.
Yeah, so this was definitely the toughest game to handicap, I thought, on the card. I'm gonna break my rule here because we like to fade pitchers coming out of making their return, and I just got to take the Blue Jays here. The short number, I made them a -120 favorite. I got them earlier in the day, -112. I see they're above -120 right now. But, like I said, I usually like to fade pitchers making their return, especially on the road. But Blue Jays, like you said, they're playing well right now, while the Guardians have lost 4 of their last 5 games, basically letting the division go. And I'm not a big Gavin Williams fan. All of his quality starts are against bad teams. When he goes up against the good teams, he usually gets hit pretty hard. So it scares me. I do like the over. I set my total at 8.8, so it's a little above the 8.5. So I like your overplay, but I'm gonna back the better team right now, which is the Blue Jays.
I'm in the process of backing the Seattle Mariners and the Minnesota Twins in play on the money line because one of them is going to come back. Well, the game's tied in one, and the Twins are 1 down in the other one. So there you go. That is the plan. Right, we move on. Live bet placement here on the MLB Gambling Podcast. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. The New York Yankees at the Chicago White Sox. Garrett Cole for the Yankees and Dylan Cease for the Chicago White Sox. -148 on the Yankees, +124 on the White Sox. Total is 7.5. Garrett Cole is 10-2 on the year, 2.64 ERA. Just find out, Carlos Rodon left the game injured tonight with a foot injury. It looked like actually. He'd already given up enough runs for us to catch that Houston over. But yeah, Rodon. So more issues. But Cole is kind of the one crutch that the Yankees can lean on at the moment. He's been outstanding, 165 ERA in his last 5. He's actually gets quite enough run support off the Yankees as well. 2 appearances at the White Sox in his career have been fine as well. Dylan Cease is 4-5 with a 4.61 ERA. His last 5 numbers look horrible, 666. But that's his 7 earned run effort when he only got 5 batters out at Texas. That accounts for most of that. His last 2 home starts have been poor, though. Looking at the splits, Cease's home starts have been poor. Don't trust the Red Sox. It's a horrible price. I wouldn't be making a habit of taking the Yankees at -148. But if you're going to, it's with Cole on the mound. So that'll be my pick. I'm going to take the Yankees.
Yeah, about a 1.5 play, right, for you on the money line?
That's the one, the classic,
The classic.
Classic.
Actually, this one was a tough one to handicap as well, just because, I feel a little risky today. I'm going to take the Yankees on the run line, +130, continue to fade the White Sox. I know they won 2 in a row, but the Yankees should win this game, especially with their ace on the mound. They give him the best chance to win when he does pitch. I think he's their only good pitcher right now. Cole hasn't allowed more than 2 runs since the beginning of May. So he gives the Yankees the best chance to win every time he's on the mound. White Sox are just a fade, in my opinion, right now. I think this is the Yankees game to lose. So +130 is a good plus price for me. I'll take the Yankees and the gamble on the run line.
Johnny Boy likes it. He co-signs Yanks run line for Johnny as well. Loves it. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Colorado Rockies at the Milwaukee Brewers. Peter Lambert for the Rockies and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. Lines are, where are they? I've got them written down somewhere. There they are. +205 Colorado, -250 on the Brewers. 8.5 is the total. Brewers, Peralta, -$2.5, Dylan.
Yeah, nothing I want on the side for either of them. I lean over 8.5. I made my total 9. Like I said, I couldn't get any value on either side, but I do think both pitchers are good enough for a few runs in each. The over is 6-4 toward the Brewers in their last 10 games. I think they could take advantage of Lambert. The wind is, I think a blow up is bound to happen with him. His hard hit rate has gone up ever since June 8th, one of his last starts. So, with the way the Brewers have been swinging the bat, I think they can score some runs here. Maybe look towards the Brewers team total over 4.5, but wherever you could get some value with the Brewers, I think they are the right side. So I think the Brewers could score 5 runs. So if you could get a 4.5 team total, I like that. I also like the full game over 8.5 as well.
Well, I've gone the other way. I'm on the under, Dylan. I kind of handicapped Lambert quite favourably a few times. He was going okay before his last start. Peralta is kind of unreliable now, and he used to be a bit of a banker at home, but he hasn't been. This really is a fate of both offenses, though. I mean, Colorado never score any runs. I think they won today. Or they certainly were 1-0 up when I came in here to do this silliness. Did they win? Yeah, they won 1-0. So if they're going to win a game, it's that kind of score. And then the Brewers had a 14 run game on Thursday. That's absolutely an anomaly. Either side of that, they've scored 2 runs, 3 runs, and 4 runs. So I'm not buying the Brewers at all, or either offense. And I don't mind either pitcher. They're capable. So under 8.5 is going to be my play, Dylan, which is no use to anybody. We will go to, it's the penultimate game on the card. It's a 9:38 Eastern first pitch between the San Francisco Giants and the LA Angels. Logan Webb will go for San Francisco, and it's left-handed pitcher Patrick Sandoval for the Angels. -118 for the Giants, -102 for the Angels. Total is 8, Dylan.
Yeah, I like the over here. Over 8. I made my total 9.2. Gonna basically fade both pitchers in this spot. I haven't liked what I've seen from Wood on the road this season in his last few starts. And to be honest, I've never really been a fan of Patrick Sandoval either. You know, he's 2-4 at home with a 4.75 ERA. His hard hit rate at home, it's hovering around 37 to 45%. So another one where I could see a blow up coming from him anytime soon. So Giants are a much better team. They're playing great baseball right now, while the Angels, they've lost 6 of their last 8, including 5 straight. I think we see a lot of runs here. I think we see a shootout. Give me over 8.
Over 8. I'm taking the Angels here. I know, yeah. Alex Wood starts are really short and really unreliable. Sandoval has been better lately, and the Giants just again never score. What they they've scored tonight at Oakland and Luis Medina, so that doesn't count. I'm not having that. What they scored 3. The game totals have been really low scoring. 3, 1, 6, and 7 in their last 4 before this silly tonight. Angels have lost 5 in a row, although they are currently. They haven't lost yet tonight. I've just backed them, so that's probably the end of that. I think they can get a win here. It's not a confident pick, but they're going to win sooner or later at home, and I don't like Wood. And the Angels were stringing a few hits together tonight, so yeah, I'll take the Angels at -102. Captain Insano has just mentioned the Giancarlo Stanton running the bases. Holy shit. What was he just... I didn't understand what that was.
I don't even know why he went.
Well, that's true. We're taking bets here on Stanton versus Munaf over 60 meters. -110 each of 2. Who have you got, Dylan?
Oh, man. I want to say the right thing.
Munaf's got little legs, Captain saying. The tail of the tape saying Munaf's little legs. But I reckon he could churn, you know. He'd be going really quick. I've like a blur.
I've seen small people run fast, but
holy shit! Just call Munaf a small person.
No, sorry, but that's the way he described it. No, Munaf is not small at all. But Giancarlo Stanton's an athlete. He should win the race, but don't sleep on Munaf. Come on now. They call him the machine. They call him the machine.
Oh, fucking hell, that made me laugh. Last game on the card, thankfully. Is no one tell him, by the way. This is a secret. 9:40 Eastern first pitch is the Texas Rangers and the Oakland Athletics. We have Dane Dunning for Texas and left-handed pitcher, our man Ken Waldichuk for Oakland. -205 Texas, +170 Oakland. Total is 8. Dane Dunning, 9-4 on the year, 3.14 ERA. Slightly inconsistent, not great on the road either. Ken Waldichuk is 2-7, 6.52 ERA. Short starts, gives up runs, basically. I didn't want to take Texas on the money line or the run line because I was unsure about doing it on the road. The safest play is to take something to do with the Texas offense here. They've scored, before tonight's game, 31 runs in the last 4. They put 6 up at least tonight that I saw. Did they beat the Marlins 6-0?
Yeah, 6.
Yes, so there you go. 37 in the last 5. And they've got multi-homers in 6 straight games, Dylan. That's my stat of the night. So if you want to take some Texas home run props off Waldichuk tomorrow, it's got the smell of batting practice about it. So yeah, Texas team total. That's a low total of 8 as well, a game total. So Texas team total, and take some home run props for Texas as well.
Yeah. Dylan. Rangers -1.5, and I'll say it right now, the over is my lock. I set my total at 9.2. I love this play. Wind blowing out. And Malcolm, like you know, the ball loves to travel in the Bay Area at night with the marine layer over it. So gonna go over 8 here. Plus, like you said, the Rangers, they've been averaging 7 runs per game. What did you say, 37 in the past 5, while the A's, they haven't really scored a lot of runs, but they sure have been allowing a bunch of runs. They've given up 7 runs on average in their past 5 games. So I know we like to try and backhand Waldichuk at home, but I just don't think this is one of their spots. I think we see a shootout. I think the Rangers kill them. So I got Rangers -1.5 at -115. -125 is okay, but I'd rather take the -115, but I love the over here. So over is my lock.
Holy shit, Dylan. I've backed the wrong thing again here.
Oh my
just
God.
so live. I've backed Seattle when I said I was backing the Angels. Seattle have just gone 2-1 up. I did back the right team in Minnesota, though. Oh, it's chaos. I need to have a word with yourself. Or maybe step away from the laptop for an hour and go to bed when I get out.
You've been doing the Premier League. You've been doing the MLB. You need to get away from the computer. Go to the tub.
As long as I'm pressing buttons and betting on stuff, I'm happy. It doesn't matter what it is. Right. I need to always gamble responsibly, people.
Yeah.
Right, we've handicapped all those games, Dylan, I think. A couple of little meandering conversations on the way, but we got there. Lock and dog time. I'm going to lead us off before I get these wrong as well. My lock is going to be the first 5 team total of Atlanta. I just think they're going to smash the daylights out of Bido tomorrow. 5 runs, something like that, easy. Might have done in the first inning. They've done that a lot this season. So that'll be my luck. And for my dog, I am fading my man, Brian Bello. I'm going to take the Kansas City Royals to get a win at +180. We're going big dog, Dylan.
I love it. So like I said, the over in the Rangers and A's games, like everything I just alluded to. So over 8 is my lock. For my dog, I was going to take the Yankees +130, just backing Cole on the road, but I'm going to fade Joey Wentz here. I'll take the Twins +110 on the run line here. I don't trust him at all. His hard hit rate, like I said, is hovering around 45 to 50%. Twins, they're playing good baseball right now, trying to widen the gap between them in first place. So, yeah, I don't like Joey Wentz. He's faced the Twins in back-to-back starts in June. They kicked his ass in both of those starts. So, going to continue to fade him and the Tigers. I'll take the Twins on the run line as my dog.
Okay, love all of that, Dylan. Thank you very much. What's Sunday night? I think you should go and do something wild tonight, Dylan.
No, I got work. I got a bedtime, sir. But I don't know. I think I might have some wings tonight. Get some blue cheese with them. Big wing guy. It's probably like my favorite food, to be honest. Wings.
What will you buy them in?
There's like a wing bar by my house, and I'll just order 10-15 bone-in wings and just go to fucking town.
Okay, nice. Will you go and collect them, or will you make them deliver?
Oh no, I'm not lazy. I'll go and get them.
You go and get them. All right, that's good.
Of course.
What were you going to ask me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been diving into the Premier League gambling podcast. I'm gonna hit the Manchester United one after this, but I'm thinking about buying a Morgan Gibbs white
Yes.
Jersey. He's good. I think he's a solid player. But are we going to keep Brendan Johnson? Like the future kind of seems up in the air, right?
Dylan, I can't talk to this, Dylan.
I'm changed, man.
Mate, you absolutely changed, man. All these people in the comments here, everyone's listening to this show, and we're having a conversation like two blokes in a pub about whether Nottingham Forest will keep Brendan Johnson. I think they will, Dylan, unless he starts the season really well, because the transfer deadline's like 3 weeks into the season. So if he scores a few goals early on, then the vultures might circle and they might pick him off. But no, I think the Forest boys I've spoken to were quite confident that he would stay. So, but yeah, Morgan Gibbs-White is an outstanding player. He's going to be in England international for a long time. He's top class. He'll end up somewhere else in a few years' time playing Champions League football. He's a very good player, mate. So yeah, that would be a nice shirt. Classic.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one. Thank you.
There you go then. Cheers, everyone. I appreciate you, Captain Sado. Cheeky chops. Johnny Boy's going over 6.5 beers, which I co-sign. I've got a bottle of ginger wine there. And I might just take the neck off that, Dylan, just to help you sleep while I watch the last hour of baseball. Thanks, everyone. That was loads of fun. We do appreciate it. Back tomorrow. I think I'm back tomorrow with possibly Scott and Lonte. So we can make some more picks. Good luck with all your bets, everybody. Go and tune into all the Premier League shows. Even if you don't want to tune in, go and find them and then just like and review them and stuff like that. Makes me look good. Other than that, crack on, everyone. Enjoy your beers, enjoy your wings. We'll see you down the road. Cheers.